All right, Marks and Marquettes, welcome to the very first episode of the First City Podcast presents The Blank Show. Today is the Pro Wrestling Show coming to you live from Bat Lair Studios. Yes, we have, we're trying something new, and if this works, this will be our format going forward. So yeah, we got a couple great guests in the studio. Yes, this is an actual studio in Marietta, Bat Lair Studios, and we're sitting down with Joel and Cole Cash and Joel Gant of the Middle-Aged and Mediocre podcast, who also are huge pro wrestling fans. And Cole Cash is getting back in the ring, restarting his wrestling career at the ripe old age of 59. I don't know how old you are.
Wrestling years, yeah.
Yeah,
in wrestling years, yeah.
In wrestling years,
You
probably.
so.
So.
A youngster, really.
Oh yeah, you're still green behind the gills, man. All right, so and we got some packs. We're gonna rip some retro cards, and this one right here. Oh, this one right here.
Camera.
I won't touch it anymore. This one right here. We're trying to pull a WrestleMania 3 Ultimate Warrior rookie card. And then these ones we're just kind of going to open up and do some banter about how god awful some of the early 90s WCW
There's
guys
going to
were.
be 7 Sids in the WCWs.
Yeah.
9 Flayers.
I'm hoping we get a Coco Beware.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah, that would be nice.
We never realized Joel and Cole.
I know. Or Cole and Joel.
Cole and Joel show.
Well, thanks for we're going to start opening up every one of our shows now. The Cole and Joel show.
It's Joel and Cole.
You guys should do like a ventriloquist dummy thing where one of you sits on.
That's pretty much what our podcast is.
Oh.
Right?
The whole podcast is me trying to get him on my lap. So.
So if you couldn't
Let's get
tell, the format of the Blank Show, guys, is off the cuff, no scripts, X-rated. Not really. We're keeping our shirts on, but we're here to have fun. We've been friends for quite a while. Some of us here. I'm still getting to know Cole, but it's off the cuff. It's just going to be bantering. We're going to talk a little bit about Cole's wrestling career, and then we're just going to be talking about our love of pro wrestling, dating back to when we started loving it and how we got into it, and then talk about maybe some of the current product stuff since we just had WrestleMania.
Yep.
Can't believe it's been 40 years. 40 years of WrestleMania. It's pretty amazing from where it started at. So before we do that,
Well, there's been 300 years of UFC. I don't know if you saw that. They've had UFC 300.
Been around for a long time. Yeah.
yes. Oh God.
Well,
God. Good night, folks. All right. If you did not know Joel Gant hosts a lot of the small, not small. What is the word I'm looking for? Not open mics.
Yeah.
Like the comedy club open mics, and you say used to, but we're getting you back out
All
there.
right.
This is you're gonna do your return tonight. Yeah.
Okay.
Surprise! This is an open mic show.
Oh,
This is
wow.
an open mic show. Well, no, this is your
I need
audition.
notes.
This is
I
your
need
audition
notes.
to see if you're rusty. You get,
I'm very rusty.
yes, Joel does a lot of local open mic comedy club things, and he even hosted one year when I did an open mic night at the Homecoming. He hosted that event.
I think that's how we met. You got me. I was doing comedy and you wanted comedy for a homecoming. So you messaged me and that's how we started our relationship.
Yes, you look like Brian Posehn, and I was like, he must be funny.
Yeah. Lily came and did a joke.
Yes, she did. That was a heartwarming. Lily is the daughter.
The star of the show.
The
that
star.
night.
Yes, she was. She got more applause than all the musicians combined, probably. But thanks, Parkersburg Homecoming. You did a great job promoting that. So it was rough. It was a rough night. But
yeah, it's all experience.
all right, I'm going to deviate a little bit. We're going to talk to Cole here, Mr.
Fine.
Cole Cash. I assume that's not your real name, but for kayfabe purposes, you're Mr. Cole Cash.
I am. Do you have any guesses as to where that came from?
Kid Cash.
Oh, let me just knock off my headphones here. No, not him. He wasn't happy that I had that name though. Apparently,
Oh.
no. It came from a comic book, Wildcats. Comic
Okay.
book.
Is that the one where Wildcats is spelled and there's periods
Yeah.
between? Okay,
Yeah.
I've seen it. I don't think I've ever read it, but obviously I've seen it.
It's a character's name that I randomly decided at age 11 sounded pretty awesome. And then when they were like, "So, what are you going to wrestle as?" and I was just like, "Gee, Mister, I don't know, Cole
Mm-hmm.
Cash," and it stuck.
So you're like the Hardys. You started
I was like
before you
10.
hit puberty.
Yeah.
Seriously,
wait.
you ran the ropes when you were 10?
No. I was backyarding when I was 10, but
Oh.
we might have tied some ropes up at one point.
You
weren't there. I don't want to talk to you. Yeah.
All right. So how old are you?
41.
And you have not had a match since pre-COVID?
Yeah. 5 years ago.
And what organizations are you part of that you've wrestled in around here that people may know of?
So around here in Parkersburg, Marietta, Remix Pro Wrestling is the main one for Marietta.
Where are they at?
They run the middle school.
No, I know, but where are they
Where
at?
are they at?
Are they taking a break or something? Because I don't.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, they only ran shows 2 times a year, so they were always big, huge fundraisers for the Humane Society. But Adam Johnson, the guy that runs them, he really does put in 6 months of work, like just constant work. So I think it's getting a little bit harder for him as his family grows, and as you know.
Well, they had one planned, then the pandemic hit, and I don't think.
Yeah, and
They've had one since the pandemic. I know that.
Oh, that's right,
I
yeah.
didn't get to go to
Yeah,
it because of the pandemic. I was a little.
But yeah, so but I'm coming back to Real Shoot Wrestling, which this will be the first time they have ran a show in Parkersburg.
Great company.
Yeah, really good company, full of a lot of guys I help train.
Sweet.
And there's a lot of guys that remind me of me, like just by like their attitudes and all that. So I'm coming back for Real Shoot Wrestling April 27th.
Saturday at 6 o'clock.
Saturday at 6 o'clock.
Clock.
Elks Club in Parkersburg. Then there's live bands afterwards starting at 8:30. So
Sounds of real punk rock.
come for the wrestling, stay for the music.
That's awesome.
Our boys Triceratops are playing.
Oh yeah, they have friended me on Facebook and they send me their trying to keep up with what they're doing, and I think it's great what they're doing in Truck Stop. I think it's watching their ascent has just been crazy to me.
Yeah, we have some really good bands.
They're opening up for Ace freaking Freely.
All that.
Holy shit!
Yeah, congrats to the Truck Stop boys.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
That Justin Ewing, he's always involved in something that's going pretty well.
Yeah.
He picked on me in high school and used to call me Cheese. he took a permanent marker Sharpie and wrote cheese all over my backpack.
We need to get him for the next episode.
We have some grievances. We need to air out our grievances. We'll spill some tea.
Like, did you eat a lot of cheese? Did you
No, absolutely.
In middle school, all
my
backpack.
My backpack was yellow. I think that's what it was.
Was it made of cheese?
It was after he wrote cheese all over it, I guess. I don't know. But let's get off of that.
We can do a whole podcast about
getting
getting picked on in middle school.
Oh my gosh.
Let's not say.
All right. And when you're wrestling, do you prefer heel, face, tweener?
Heel all the way.
You do look like a heel. Have you ever wrestled Jock?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Jock is the quintessential bad guy. He's like the type. He's like a Miz.
Well,
you just look at him and you don't.
WrestleMania, right?
Huh?
You saw that he ruined WrestleMania?
No.
Have you guys seen this?
Was that really him though? Or
Yeah,
a guy
that was
that
really
just-
his big head.
Who took it?
Holding up pictures of. We don't know who.
Oh
it
my
was.
gosh.
The whole night one.
Somebody
yeah.
made one of those big heads of
Somebody
Jock
had,
Sampson.
I can't believe you guys.
I saw it. I
No,
just didn't think it was really Jock.
I mostly just
Oh, God.
shocked that you guys don't follow my Facebook so closely.
Oh, yeah.
I just shared a Reddit thread where nobody in the Reddit thread knows who Jock Sampson is.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the pictures that got held up the whole show, one's of Jock's big Jock head,
Yeah.
and then the other one's, I believe, his daughter's head.
I was wondering that was his.
Was he there?
He
Do
said he
not
wasn't
believe
there.
he
I
was
saw
there.
that he posted like on Instagram or Twitter, one of them that he wishes he was there. But probably Facebook. He
The
said he
dumbest shit I've ever heard.
There is a huge Reddit thread.
They didn't take it down. Like no
From
one came and
Squared
got
Circle.
it.
That everybody is so mad because that ruined whether they were behind them, live or just watching it,
You just
and
kept
all
seeing
you can
his
see the whole
face.
time.
I got to see him take a chair shot from the Honky Tonk Man, who's a piece of shit, by the way.
I'm surprised I haven't started showing up in a lot of these Facebook posts where people are bitching about this, because anytime I get tagged in a Facebook photo, it's of Jock, and I just always.
You guys should be a tag team.
Yeah.
Fight the Viking Raiders.
No, we have fought before. He's a heel's heel, except if he's in Nelsonville, Ohio. And you wrestle him
hometown boy,
there,
yeah.
and then you're wrestling Hulk Hogan. So
I tell you what, though, I worked with Darren Jock. I know, broke the fourth wall. Hi, Colt Cabana. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, I worked with Darren with a company that works with people with disabilities, and we had a 2-on-1 client together, and we spent 8 hours a day together helping take care of individuals. And he is the least likely candidate to be a heel in real life. He's the sweetest, most gentle person to kids.
Don't
and-
worry, Jock. I'm not gonna let them do this to you. Jock Sampson is
he's
an asshole.
he's a garbage.
Jock Sampson hates kids. He has said that. I've heard him say it.
Yeah.
He retired and got in the best shape ever.
Yeah.
He's retired?
Yeah.
Yeah, supposedly. I mean, that's what he said. He's retired, but he's lost like lots of pounds. He's looking really good.
Yeah, but I think he's digging just being able to slow down and not
Yeah.
have to.
You know, maybe he's training for that comeback so he gets one of those DDP yoga video things, and then he'll end up like Jake Roberts.
Yeah, but he's doing it on his own. He needs to get in with DDP if he wants those videos.
Well,
He's got to make money.
no, he signed one of those non-disclosure
Oh, okay.
agreements. He has to wait until he's 112 pounds and can run 10 miles.
Speaking of DDP and Remix, so when Remix brought Time Dallas Page in the first time, it was at the Ewing School.
Shout
right
out
down
to
the road
Justin
here in
Ewing.
Marietta. And we wanted him to do something with DDP Yoga, like have a heel come out and do like a heel promo on like
Mhm.
Jock.
Yeah.
Do DDP Yoga
Yeah.
promo. DDP wouldn't allow it. He said that he wasn't there for DDP Yoga. He was there for wrestling. And
He keeps that stuff separate.
we're like,
Hey.
well, right now, DDP Yoga is why you're here.
Yeah.
We don't really.
I don't know. I can kind of see from a performer's aspect, for one, he doesn't want the world to think that DDP Yoga is a joke. So he doesn't want to bring it part of his character.
Might be true.
I get that. But at the same time, it's a small town little thing. But maybe he thought it was too carny and,
Yeah.
and
well, then he forced me to do the self high five
Mm.
picture with him.
Yeah.
Or the diamond.
the
like
diamond.
he grabbed my arm
Oh.
and he did this and made me take a picture. And I go, I don't want to do this. And he just
Yeah.
held my arm there.
Yeah, we'll turn it
So,
up.
I do have a personal grudge against him. Anyways.
A personal. We have a personal grudge against Jake the Snake. We'll get into that as well. Joel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Cash was there for that.
Joel, I'm gonna shut up and let you tell the Jake the Snake story.
Oh, he was at what was Beckley? Was that Beckley, West Virginia?
Munchies.
Munchies. Oh yeah, Munchies bar. I got on the show. I got me and Cash on the show to open, and we get there, and you rode with us, right?
Yeah.
You ended up, and your son rode with us, and we get there, and we went off and did our comedy thing, and I met Jake, and I tried to get a picture, and he tried to charge me like $20 or something like that. I'm like, no, Jake, he's one of the comedians. He's like, all right, $10.
$10.
And I was like, I don't want a picture. But then, I got a picture. They took one anyway. And he was just.
Did he flip off the camera or give you one of these?
I don't remember. I don't think he did anything. I think he just stood there still for a second to get it over with.
Those giant fake white teeth.
Yeah. And it was not fun. It was, I used to love Jake the Snake.
Yeah.
And then I met him.
Yeah, you never
Those
meet your
guys.
heroes. He was
Yeah.
my favorite because he looks just like my dad. When I was little, I was always thinking dad's wrestling.
Yeah.
So that he was my favorite. And then go ahead and tell him what happened.
There's a special needs kids down front who didn't quite understand how his phone worked. And I think he was trying to take a picture, and Jake just started yelling at him and calling him names and asked if he was stupid.
Yeah.
Right.
He has somebody with special needs. I think it was Down syndrome. If he was stupid, and that you ruined my goddamn show. I can't remember where I was.
He ruined his nights of telling stories about
turn on-
bad stories about dead people.
Turn on the lights and stand up and see I want to see who it is.
So the kid had a TBI, a traumatic brain injury.
Okay.
Oh,
And-
sorry.
As the kid came in with the people that brought him, who I went to school with a couple of them, so I kind of knew them. I knew they're from Vienna. As they came in, the kid is wearing a Jake Roberts shirt, and Jake sees him because he's doing the autograph photo thing at the time. And,
Well, it wasn't hard to see. There was like 12 people there.
and he is he's like 6'8".
Yeah.
But he sees him, and they go over, and I think both of us stood there and listened to them tell Jake this guy's story that he had a traumatic brain injury. But he's always been a huge fan, whatever. So Jake hears the full story, and then during his stand-up comedy show,
Yeah.
where it's just him talking about what awful humans
Andre the
wrestling in
Giant's
the
foot
80s
smelled
were.
so bad.
The
Yeah.
kid's phone started ringing,
Oh, okay.
and he was trying to shut it off, but he couldn't figure out how, because it took him. So he's trying to turn it off, and it's just making more noise. And that's when Jake asked him, told him to quit looking at porn, which then confused him because he wasn't looking at porn. So now
Yeah,
he's trying to figure out why somebody thinks he's looking at porn. And then Jake ended up verbally just assaulting him, calling him awful things that I won't say. But yeah, that's the day that I was like, oh, I fucking hate Jake Roberts.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who knew?
He's a
I
piece
love
of
that
shit.
dude when I was a kid.
Never meet your heroes.
But you tell that story on Twitter, and you will get people that we do a whole episode about
Yeah.
who will tell you that you're a scumbag for trying to ruin the life of Jake Roberts.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, it's just a true story that Jake Roberts did. Like, Jake probably shouldn't be a scumbag.
It literally isn't a personal attack on Jake. It is
Just
our
reporting the
retelling
facts.
of what happened the night we met him.
But then we do a podcast episode where we do personally attack the guy.
Yes, we go to Jake Roberts' house now, and no.
So yeah, wrestling's fun. I'm coming back to it though. So,
And I guess let's go ahead and just start talking candidly about how we fell in love with pro wrestling. How old were you, and what kind of led to it, and what were you watching when you first started?
There you go.
However,
My neighbor had WrestleMania 3 on VHS and brought it over. I was living in South Carolina, and then I started watching NWA, WCW.
Yeah.
And it's probably like a year after WrestleMania 3, so 85 or something. But like ever since then, I was just a huge fan and kept up with it.
Mhm.
I love it.
so I figured out because I always say that I saw the first show I can remember was an NWA show from a satellite. My uncle had a satellite, so he could get the big pay-per-views. Even though I don't think they were like a pay-per-view then, I don't know. But I figured out the first one was Great American Bash '88.
okay.
So went over to my uncle's. He gets the satellite, and it's I think Flair and Luger for the title, but then it's also like the Road Warriors and Sting going up against somebody. So like my first thing I really remember is these giant Road Warrior guys, and then cool ass Sting coming out
Face
there.
paint.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then
Sting's face paint was badass.
and then I just
Surfer
kinda
Sting.
fell in love. And
Yeah.
it was a huge comic book. It was just a comic book come to life.
Yeah.
So
Personally, for me, it holds an emotional meaning because I have what my psychiatrist liked to call childhood selective disorder because I had some traumas. But one of the memories that I remember is sitting on the floor next to my grandpa, who was on the couch. One of the TVs, the big wooden paneled floor TVs,
Yeah.
sitting on the floor, and it was Saturday morning Superstars or something like that, and it was Dusty Rhodes, baby, in his black and yellow polka dots, and he was with Sapphire. And at the time, my next door neighbors were black, and my best friend was black, and he had Sapphire, who was black. So I instantly felt the connection with the dancing and the silliness, and fell in love with the American Dream gimmick, even though it was supposed to have been like a slight to
a
rib on Dusty. It really, that's my memory of how I fell in love with pro
He made it
wrestling.
work.
Yeah. He took shit and made it dance.
Sapphire. That would never work.
How
now.
great though was
No.
the whole angle with DiBiase constantly trying to pay off Sapphire. She constantly keeps, and then she finally takes the money, turns her back on Dusty Rhodes, and then I think immediately like they show videos of her like as the housekeeper.
Yeah,
for
like
Teddy DiBiase.
fanning him and
Like, buddy, this is awful.
Oh man, that also would not fly. And
It's a Vince McMahon booking.
It was the wrestling was always an escape too, just
Yeah.
for me anyway. I moved a lot, so it was like that's always something that was there.
it wasn't an
Wrestling
escape
never
for me.
left
It was an embarrassment. Like I got picked on a lot, especially like when I would come home from school and we had all of the Hasbros and the Jax figures in the ring. My life, because I didn't have hardly any friends, my life was coming home off that bus and setting up that week's episode of Raw and the next pay-per-view and the bone crunching action guys and all that. We would lay them all out and then like plan the matches, me and my brothers. That was life for me growing up. Obviously we did other things. I grew up in the woods, but 90% that I remember of my memories are sitting there and playing with those action figures. Did you guys ever collect the bone crunching or the Hasbros or the LJNs?
Now the Jax, did they have the bone breaking or they're the ones that when you I remember when Jax came out, I got the Triple H figure and being able to like break his arm was a great thing.
The Undertaker's one that has his neck was like that long for some reason. Like they weren't great action figures.
No, I had the LJNs.
Used to beat your
those they're hammers. My grandpa still has the Miss Elizabeth in the package
Oh,
with the poster and Bobby Heenan in the package with the poster.
Doesn't get any better.
And
than
I had to
Bobby.
write his will for him. And he gave me a list of things he wanted in the will. Those were not on there.
Oh.
So I called my grandpa and I said, hey, I'm adding something to this. I need those 2 wrestling figures. And he's like, well, I'm sure they're here somewhere. And I was like, before you die, you find those 2 figures. That wasn't quite the conversation. But
Yeah.
so when did you guys figure out wrestling was not completely real? Right now?
Every time I watched, my dad would walk in the room.
Yeah.
Like, that shit's not real.
When did you just assume that he was right?
Probably like when that show wrestling when the mask guy was on watching
Secrets of Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, it might have been probably when like it finally like hit home for
Really?
me. Yeah.
All right, I'll tell you. This is a weird one. It was a Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazine, and you open it up, and it was ranking the wrestlers, and the Undertaker was billed from Chicago, Illinois, in the magazine, and it listed Mark Calloway beside his name, and I'm like, who the hell is Mark Calloway? And where's my Undertaker at?
Yeah.
That's when I first had the inclination that these people were actually human people.
I always thought it was weird they would just travel just to fight each other. Like, just don't go to the town that guy's at. If you don't want to, like, if you're not wanting to beef, just why do you keep going there and meeting up with them?
Well, you know what happens when you don't. Brian Pillman will show up at your house with a TV crew and a freaking gun and try to attack you.
Well, once it really hit TV, they had to come out and say, like, in the territory days, you could completely sell the idea to the people that, like, we don't like each other and we're both going to show up in this town, specifically this town on this specific day and time, just to kick the shit out of each other. Yeah. But like you said, now it's just like with a TV thing, just being like, I want to renegotiate this because I really don't want to do this for free on a Monday night. I'm gonna go. It all just becomes kind of bullshit.
Like, as long as I get my spots in there.
But you kind of like, when was that was when it just all completely went away for you? Like any even like
maybe a little before that, but that's what I remember. I remember thinking like when they would like run off the ropes, I was like, what's really making them spring and run back? I was like, I think
the secret wrestling reveal. They really revealed all the secrets.
They did. Rick Rude.
There was a lot of guys. There was a lot of Chris Daniels was one of the workers.
Oh, really?
A lot of XPW guys out in California.
It says Nick McKay was the narrator. Producers, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's but it was somebody like not I keep wanting to think one of the Armstrongs, but it wasn't. But it was like one of those kind of like legendary, like legends in the business from NWA times.
Okay.
Anyway,
I'm gonna get off of that.
Yeah.
All right.
But so for you,
look it up and leave it in the comments below, everybody.
Secrets, and for you said it was just magazines.
The magazines, and then when we got internet and I started following Raja.com.
Yeah.
That was a big one for me.
Ruined wrestling for all of us.
Well, I spoilers and another one would be when Monday Night Wars, when they were like spoiling each other's like matches.
Oh yeah.
There was a lot of telltale signs, but yeah, when I was little, I don't know if I ever really fully believed it was real or not. I may have, but I just feel like I grew knowing that it was a show.
But at the same time, I wasn't watching Ghostbusters and be like, this is fake. Like, I just
turned this off.
It was just entertaining.
Come on,
so I like to watch
get
it.
out of here.
I don't think those ghosts are real. Let's not watch this movie.
Yeah, not like the ones that you can project on your wall with the. I have that at home, but I bought one off of eBay.
I remember that.
So I would love to like pretend like I was early on caught on, and that's I found out the secrets quick, but I was still like WrestleMania 12. Is that where Sean and Iron Man match?
Yes,
maybe
12. So
it was 12.
I would have been 13, and I remember crying. I couldn't watch it. I had to do the old
scramble.
You just get the scramble, and then you just listen, right? So I did that, and then it's Brett versus Sean Iron Man match, and it goes to no falls
right
by the end of the 60 minutes. And I'm like, well, can't beat Brett. You had 60 minutes to do it and you can't do it. Fuck you, Shawn Michaels. And then I can hear Roddy Piper coming, his big dumb, or no, Gorilla Monsoon. Somebody came out and made the match go extra 5 minutes.
Sergeant Slaughter.
Maybe.
Overtime.
Was it Sergeant Slaughter?
I thought it was Piper, but could be wrong. But then then Shawn beats Brett. And I, like, at 13 years old, am crying. And this is not fair to Bret Hart. This is such bullshit. But then I think within like the years when like I kind of got the internet, and like within like that year, I was just like, oh, I mean, because Brett let him. That's why. Like they were even like
He was in on
Why
it.
Brett? Why wasn't that a thing for a time there? Why Brett? Why when he turned heel there?
Yeah.
That
was awesome. He was facing Canada and then
Yeah.
heel everywhere else.
I named my second son Owen for Owen Hart. My wife doesn't really know that's why I picked it.
Surprise!
But, yeah.
And Kevin Steen both.
He was my favorite. Yeah.
Kevin Steen named his kid Owen.
Yeah.
Or Kevin Owens. Steen was his ROH name.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, so his name is Owen Owens. In kayfabe.
Sure. Owen Owens.
Mario. It's not that weird.
No,
Luigi Mario. How's that weird?
All right, let's talk about special moments in pro wrestling history. Name a specific event or match that like changed your world.
Well, crying at Bret Hart and Shawn.
Yeah. The zip line was cool as hell, though.
Yeah, no. Watching Misawa against Kobashi for the first time on like just Vance Desmond, who you guys know, came up wrestling with me. Somebody he knew was a tape trader. So we went over to their house and they showed me like a best of something in Japan. And it was Misawa and Kawada, I believe, or Kobashi. And I was just like, oh, wrestling is like even better over Japan.
Strong style.
Where they're like trying to murder each other.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of like influenced my style from then on.
Okay.
My big thing for me earlier on was the Hulk Hogan Ultimate Warrior build-up. Where they had that stupid moment, the Royal Rumble, before where they were crisscrossing in the ring.
Oh,
and just to build up to the match and
yeah.
Warrior beating them. I was such a big Warrior fan.
Yeah. The first thing that came to my mind when I thought of that question was running to my mom and freaking the hell out that Papa Shango made green slime come out of Gene Okerlund's body. That moment terrified me as a child. So obviously I did believe at some point that this shit was real because Papa Shango was murdering Gene Okerlund live on camera with green slime coming out of his like sleeves. I haven't gone back and watched that ever in my life since then. That memory is, so I don't know if I'm wrong with how that presented itself, but that's how I remember it as a kid, that he was like making slime come out out of.
I remember he did the Warrior. I don't remember the Gene one. I'm sure it happened, because he did it to a bunch of people probably.
Mm-hmm.
I love Papa Shango.
So as a kid, were you like, if he can do that to him, he can do that to me through the TV program?
Through the TV, no, I was more worried about right to censor.
Okay.
No, their theme song still triggers me. That the
alarm. I think
so bad.
Black Scorpion was an early memory for me for wrestling.
I'm sorry, that's unfortunate.
I know. Dude,
what is it?
The Sting had
Black Scorpion angle.
So they came up with an angle where like it's someone from his past, and like it would like do like a voice over the PA, and I'm coming, Sting. But they had no idea who the Black Scorpion was going to be, and they had like different wrestlers played him, and then finally they had like a match where, if Sting wins, he would have to take out the mask, and it was Flair. So it was all that build up, and but he like made tigers disappear and stuff, and like. It was
It should have been the
But as a kid, I was all in on it. I was like the Black Scorpion. I was like, they talk about training on the beaches in Venice Beach.
They got it going, and then they had no idea actually where to go.
That was a good lesson as a kid. Like, know where you're going.
When I'm doing these podcasts, a lot of the times I start talking, and then I'm like, well, hopefully I'll eventually lead to where I'm going.
That's the Black Scorpion method.
That's
you don't always get there.
Yeah. I usually get there, or I say, I'm just going to edit this part out.
Sometimes it's just Ric Flair under a mask.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is.
Oh my god,
those are the worst times.
All right, now let's talk about Botchamania. Not Botchamania the show, but some of your favorite botches in pro wrestling history.
I mean, if they're gonna be botches, I at least just want them to be funny ones. Like
Titus World Slide is my favorite. I watched that on repeat.
But I think, was that a botch or was that planned?
He tripped on the
But
mat.
they always have so much stuff under the ring, right?
Well, thank God he didn't, or he would have died.
That's what I think it was. I think the conspiracy mind in me. I think that was the plan thing.
Next episode of the Middle-Aged and Mediocre debunking.
What was the point of this conspiracy?
I mean, because it's been talked about because it's probably just Vince McMahon in the back
for like that whole week. It was talked about.
Yeah, just ever. It's always I think it's shown quite a good bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
what about you, Cole?
So Best botch.
That's a tough one.
That is a tough one because I mean, all I can think about off the top of my head is like all of the ones where guys look like they are dying. But I mean, the Shockmaster's got to be.
Oh yeah,
got to be number one. I mean,
no, number one is Booker T coming to get you. Hulk Hogan.
That's pretty good too.
Yeah, that one never gets old. But
Sherry's face right after that.
Shockmaster has many levels to it because it has the build up, it has the actual event, and then it has all the shit that you can hear the wrestlers saying in the background that makes it even funnier.
Yeah.
Like Flair, like he fell on his fucking ass. Oh my God, no. Who was doing the voice of the Shock? Was it Arn?
Ole.
Voice of the
Ole
Shockmaster?
Anderson.
Ole
Ole
Anderson.
Anderson.
Anything that bad happened, that's who the voice of the Black Scorpion was Ole Anderson.
Okay.
I can't think of it.
If Ole Anderson's doing the voiceover for whatever you are about to do, just
now that he's dead too, especially.
Well, it's probably the only thing that saved some wrestlers.
Yeah.
Table. I am the table. Anytime a table doesn't break, you immediately your brain goes to I am the
It's
table.
the worst. It's the worst thing in the world. That happens, by the way.
So is it worse when it doesn't break or when you lay on it and it just breaks immediately?
Okay, that's the worst.
Which would you rather have happen?
Well, that happened at WrestleMania, didn't it? The table fell over before they did the spot, and then they had to redo it, and that was the finish, so it sucked. It kind of
especially when you are running indie shows and you can't afford more than one table. So if that one table breaks,
honestly, they use doors and stuff.
What is it?
They'll use doors and stuff.
Nowadays, those are easier to get. Yeah.
All right. What's your guys' thought on Micro 2? Miniature micro pro wrestling.
I don't know what that is.
It's
I follow them on the internet.
They have a show on like Discovery too now.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they have a show on TV. I've never seen the show, but I follow them on YouTube, and they do. It's what they call midget wrestling, micro wrestling,
like minis. I
get
it. Okay, I get what you're saying.
But they have like their own mini arena with mini rings, mini storylines. No chola.
It looks like it'd be fun to go to. A friend of mine, Wendy Ferguson, is the world's smallest comedian. She'll do comedy there.
Cool.
I guess she's been on the Discovery show. Again, I haven't seen it, but I'll see it on Facebook. People like post her and say, "Hey, I saw you on Discovery" or whatever. And it's
so no strong opinions one way or the other.
I didn't know it existed. I'm gonna have to check it out now.
Yeah, they're actually really, really, really talented. A lot of them are spot monkeys, and they can.
Was this the same group that came in over in Marietta here?
I don't think that was the same group.
I don't know.
There's a couple of them going around. Yeah.
No, this is they travel, they tour. I think they're more either in Texas or Nashville.
Okay.
Their arena is in Nashville, Tennessee right now. Okay. I believe. I'm pretty sure. But
wrestling's for everybody.
It is.
So my lead into that was going to be comedy wrestling, especially on the indie scene. Some people love the dumb things like the guy who does things with his crotch, and then
Joey Ryan.
Yeah, Joey.
Nobody
Ryan.
loves Joey Ryan.
No, and then you got the guy that can hypnotize people and
Santino.
Yeah, and put them to sleep. Like I don't know.
So have you ever?
Chikara was big.
Were you a fan of Chikara?
I've never seen any of it.
You need to watch. Go back, find Chikara. It should be on YouTube. It should be.
They had grenades in matches.
Like live ones, or
no? It's just the guy would pretend to pull the pin. He'd stuff it down the other guy's tights, and he'd run around, and then everyone would bump.
Oh, like that one AEW match with Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, like when they exploded.
He used to be in it. I forget. I think he was one of the fire ants. They have a whole ant colony, so all of them have a different color ant outfit on, and like there's fire ant and.
So it's like that baseball team, the bananas, whatever. It's like silly version of baseball.
But Orange Cassidy.
But also Eddie Kingston was in there.
Kingston,
and he wasn't there to tell jokes.
Claudio,
be funny. So they had some real wrestling too. But most of it was comedy based.
I think that there's a place in pro wrestling for that stupid comedy bit.
Oh, I love it.
Jock Sampson, again, throwing that out there. He can run around like Jerry Lewis or whatever, acting like a goofball.
Oh, there's definitely a place.
Oh my goodness,
it drives me nuts. Danhausen. It drives me nuts when guys in wrestling, like if fans think whatever you want, but guys in wrestling that just hate it because there's no. And I was like, people are paying money to see it. You're a part of the same show.
Strong fans.
More people are paying now, so you're gonna get more. Like
it's an escape. It's all an escape. and some people like to laugh, and some people like to be emotionally invested, and some people need the divas matches used to be the bathroom break. If that isn't for you, that could be your bathroom break. So I feel like they throw it in at the right times, usually after a big dramatic moment, kind of loosen the tension a little bit before the next big match, because a 4-hour pay-per-view, you get winded.
Oh yeah.
And usually it ends with Triple H in a main event of a pay-per-view where you were excited to see the match, but by the time you were so emotionally spent that it is just you're done with emotions. You're done. They waited too long to have that Randy Triple H match, in my opinion.
That's all you're talking about.
That
very specific.
I'm using it as an example. That match had an amazing build. It kind of lasted a little too long, but it had a lot of heat to it, a lot of amazing build. But then by the time the match happened, after so much else had happened on that card, it just died.
Wasn't that
Shawn Taker?
Yeah, you can't put Randy Orton and Triple H after that match.
No, slow plotting guys. Yeah. No, absolutely, it was the dumbest idea. Egos drove that main event to put them on last. I had to have.
But I think it is good that AEW has brought in Danhausen, Orange Cassidy, because
even that pizza guy, they had him for like one episode or two episodes. Like they're not afraid to like kind of just have a little fun.
But then they also let the guys grow. Like Orange Cassidy, I think is about to start either a heel turn or get turned on by.
Well, he just did. Trent Beretta. Did you not see that?
Yeah, but then they're still drawing it out as like, was he just frustrated? Are they still gonna Chuck Taylor gonna? Yeah. So like, I do like that they've taken Orange Cassidy, let him be this comedy character, but let him keep showing people I'm also
a really good
wrestler. One of the best wrestlers in this company.
Yeah.
And so every week he was defending that. What title was it?
Oh my God.
The TNT title or whatever, or the Continental title.
Yeah,
he was having the match of the night every single show.
Orange Cassidy is the one that kind of walks around like a zombie or like Bernie from Weekend to Bernie.
Yeah, puts his hands in his pockets.
Yeah, I've never actually seen AEW. I don't have cable, and I obviously with the WWE Network, that's where I get my wrestling content, because I don't even get to watch Raws and SmackDowns anymore until they go to Netflix.
I think before too long, AEW is supposed to start something with Max.
I thought they were moving to HBO or Max.
I've talked about it a few times. But
I would love that because my kid likes it and I'm invested in it. I do think that Tony Khan was kind of like a savior type person in the beginning, but now even as an outsider who doesn't, I'm not one of those persons that love WWE and hates everything else. I just see what goes on and what he posts and how things happen in his company from an outsider's perspective. He's an idiot.
Yeah, he needs to stay off social media. The show we used to, me and Vance Desmond, Aaron Draven, and our buddy Jason used to do a podcast called AEWTF, where we'd review, and it was during the period before, like they were still in COVID shows. So we were doing it while they were still like no audience and stuff, and we'd review everything. But like I think you can see, like now, like because I hated it at the time, and like by the end of our podcast, like they had started like you could tell Tony wasn't involved, and like the storylines and like the layout of the show, and that was like all stuff we bitched about constantly. So like it's gotten better as far as that stuff goes. But then Tony Khan, he'll throw in his, showing the Punk footage. Yeah, with Jack Perry, did absolutely nothing.
Every 15 minutes, watched our next show. We got a big announcement.
Yeah,
coming. I hate those freaking
It's worth watching though for the wrestling. I mean,
yeah, they do have some really good matches on there.
He'll never be Vince McMahon.
Thank God.
Yeah,
though. I mean,
I don't think we ever
the genius. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, same thing for Chris Benoit. I mean, there's never going to be. Many wrestlers strive to be as good as he was in the ring. So you can use it as a comparison, not the end result.
Yeah,
but like he was a ruthless genius mind for the business.
He was smart to have smart people around him too, though.
Yeah.
Pat
well, that's like every politician ever too.
But like Tony Khan has the Young Bucks, and here lately Daniel Bryan's been, I think, going more of a backstage deal. And Chris Hero is there, so like what you said, it's getting better because he's getting better people around him. Instead of just listening to the Young Bucks exclusively.
Are they self-serving? Because I feel like that they are pretty ego-driven, but I could be completely off base.
The Bucks?
Yeah. Are they for the business or are they for themselves?
They're for the business. Like if they were for themselves, there would be a lot more Young Bucks matches
Yeah.
on AEW shows.
And they put over a lot of teams. I mean,
Yeah.
that Top Flight or whoever that was,
They
beat
put
them.
guys over a lot. Yeah, they don't. I think they're. I think they just love wrestling.
Good.
I mean, they started in California, like with Orange Cassidy, or not Orange Cassidy, Adam Cole and all those guys.
Baby.
But yeah, they've all done a lot of stuff out in California and just continue to like grow it.
They have the body type that I like in pro wrestling. Like that's why I loved Chris Jericho, CM Punk. I mean, that body type where you can't just look at them and think that they're going to automatically win. They have to convince you.
They have like I mean, they are the Rockers. Like they have that same.
And
if
like
they're baby faces,
they're not roided out. And,
no,
you know,
I've never been a big fan of the roided out thing. I have loved everything minus a couple matches here and there that Brock Lesnar's done since 2012 till he left recently.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just really like after a long emotional match, a 5-minute wham bam finisher, false kick out, blood veins popping out, pin, finish, you know.
There's a new show on Twitter you'll like, or X. They're calling it WWF or WWE Speed. Yeah, I don't know if that's out yet or not, but I've been reading about that. They're gonna have like a new champion for it, and it's like all 3-minute matches.
They hired somebody to who's writing and producing that one. It's Bobby Roode. I think it's Bobby Roode is the one who's writing that.
Yeah,
I would just like to say that if we're gonna say that who's like the new Chris Benoit, Will Ospreay is better than Chris Benoit ever was. So I was gonna say that.
I listened to his. I've never seen him wrestle. I watched the interview that he did this past week, and I
groined in on the bosses.
I just really want to get a lot of wrestling fan comments. Because that's
I cringed more than Renee Young or whatever her real name is when he said that.
Yeah.
I don't know even what it was in reference to. I mean, I do, but like I said, I'm not a hater of AEW, but that's been my only time ever seeing this person, and it was not a good look for me. I was like, I don't want to see this guy wrestle. He's kind of a dumbass, but I've heard he's an amazing wrestler, so I want to see him. I would have rather seen him at Remix or somewhere where he could really not be shackled. Does AEW shackle there's no style.
Those guys,
they could use
they should. There's sometimes they're like, maybe don't drop him on his head.
Yeah, maybe
I did see the Darby Allin Sting spots. That
no, they don't. No.
That was too much.
It was like Osprey against what's that guy's name? The guy that's with
Takeshita?
Yeah, that was just
tight.
They just took turns dropping each other on their head, and it was just. And then
they don't hold people back.
Yeah, it's like I wish
you're gonna get like 40-minute just back and forth matches. A lot of times from like really good workers.
They need to have a network that I can pay a fair nominal fee for and watch their pay-per-views, because I don't care about their weekly content. I watch the pre-match vignettes to catch me up on what's going on, and then the match that's what I live for anymore, because I don't have time for.
I would just watch the YouTube channel. They post matches and they keep like a good chunk of them in there.
All right, let's get off of AEW and anything specific, and let's talk briefly favorite and least favorite wrestling maneuvers.
Oh wow, least favorite. I'm good at this. Favorite. I always was a fan of the powerbomb. It's
who's powerbomb?
Least favorite. Sid's powerbomb, probably from back in the day. Vader. Least favorite is the super kick. That Jimmy and Jay match at WrestleMania was just.
It's bad enough when they're in a tag team and they do it to the other guys, but when that's your only move, and they do it to each other, it was too much. It's always
back in my day. The Sweet Chin music ended up
one time, unless you're Bret Hart,
that's a good segue to my answer for my least favorite wrestling move is anyone that does the sharpshooter whose name is not Bret Hart. Because
Claudio's
good.
Claudio's good with it.
Claudio's all right. So many of those somehow don't know how to do it, and then like the Rocks is the worst ever. That's why it's called the slop shooter. Even Danny Garcia in AEW, who's supposed to be like a huge Bret Hart fan, when he does his, it's not right. Somehow nobody can do a sharpshooter. I don't understand why. So I wish everyone would stop trying them. And then favorite moves, probably powerbomb too. Vader's powerbomb.
No,
there was nothing better than a Vader's powerbomb.
I'm gonna go completely different. Undertaker's tombstone, because as a kid, it looks like sometimes he did drop them on their head. Look at Coco Beware on his debut. Like, holy cow! But then you got other ones that are like Jake the Snake at WrestleMania 3 or 3 or 4. I think it was 3.
Jake Snake?
No. It was Snuka. When he tombstoned him on the outside and his head was like that far from the outside. Whoever it was, either Jake the Snake or Snuka. I can't remember.
I think it was Snuka at WrestleMania 7.
7. Okay. That's my favorite move. My least favorite move is whatever the hell Johnny Nitro, that flippy
off the top
run up.
No, like he's like a split-legged twisty Starship Pain is the dumbest. Not only does he never hit it to where it looks like sometimes he hits it with his arms only.
Yeah.
And it's if the Usos, who are compatible in weight, can jump as high in the air and slam their entire body down and never get a pin, never once. But that little pussyfoot move pins them. That's the dumbest shit I've ever seen. That and the Cobra. I love comedy matches, but the Cobra, that's so dumb.
I like the people's elbow. I mean, that ends matches.
Oh, and Great Khali's chop.
The top,
he couldn't do anything else though.
No.
Didn't he had like he did the claw, like the Baron von Raschke claw.
He had a lot like the thing there wouldn't need kind of that trap.
I thought it was up here on the head.
I think he would just squeeze anywhere.
Yeah, so, whatever he could grab.
A couple of things like I will say as a wrestler that I hate some moves I hate. Anytime a guy is doing a dive down to the floor, whether it's off the top ropes, over the ropes, whatever. Any of the guys that are supposed to be catching him. Anytime they just move, anytime they don't, not like the Samoa Joe style where he purposely but anytime like the guys are supposed to be catching this dude, throwing his entire body at you, and they just sort of like turn away from it or back up, and the guy ends up crashing. I hate that. That makes you there's a few worker points to get taken from you on that one. The pedigree,
they're trusting him with the body. They're like, all right, I'm gonna.
What is
it? The guy jumping's trusting them, and
the pedigree is the worst move to take.
It has to be.
If you take it correctly with your arms, like they stay pinned back, the amount of like pain you feel in your chest, your kit, like just everything pops and it hurts so bad.
You see that house show worker that he lifted up and basically spiked him straight down?
Yeah, he pretty much hit like a tiger driver by the time he was over.
That was
Well, Triple H did that early in his WWE.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the scariest looking things.
Did you see the one from WrestleMania 1 or Night 1 with Cody Rhodes doing it on The Rock? Like, he couldn't even get his arms all the way back, so he just like held his arms to the side and like did the pedigree.
I'll have to go back and rewatch that to see.
It was like a spot where they were both like Seth did it on Roman and Cody had it on The Rock. And like, Seth got Roman's arm pinned all the way back, like the elbows are supposed
the Rock's
to be.
Arms are big.
I know, that's what I'm saying. He couldn't even like get his arms close to get them pinned together.
Oh, the only other move I can't stand is the abdominal stretch, because I can't do it.
I love the abdominal stretch as a kid though.
It's been the bane of my wrestling existence. I just, for some reason, my body just like, it's like I'm tripping over my own feet.
You can't do it to people and they can't do it to you.
They can do it to me.
Okay.
I just can't do it to people. I try, like, I've had guys call the spot before where they're like, catch me coming off with the abdominal stretch.
You're
like, I can't. I don't know where you're going, but I can't do that. You might as well come back here.
All right. One final question. I don't want to make this go for 2 hours. We'll definitely have to do this again, and maybe in a more formatted thing where we like have topics and maybe trivia, try to quiz each other, something like that. Steal some ideas from the internet, whatever. But my last question: we all wrestled when we were kids, either a trampoline, backyard, mattress. What was your wrestling name and your finisher?
Me and my cousin Mike, he had a snowsuit, and I'm gonna tell you this, since you're a fan, he had a My Pet Monster. We used that as the head, and we stuffed the rest of the snowsuit with towels, and we would do the Doomsday device.
Okay,
so that was our wrestling.
Did you have names?
I don't remember our names or anything. Yeah, I totally missed the whole question. Well, I don't think we had names. We were just Joel and Mike.
Okay, that's fine. You can be Joel and Mike.
Gant boys.
I was Cold Cash.
You were Cold Cash all the way back to
the
the
backyard.
That's awesome.
And then my finish was the Cash Flow DDT because I was a Raven mark who basically just ripped off Raven. And then I called myself Cold Cash, but
I think got to rip off.
Emo Cold Cash.
Flannel shirt tied around my waist, leather jacket. Didn't have the hair, unfortunately, but yeah. I looked even then more like Raven now. Like with the head full of hardly any hair.
Yeah, he looks weird now.
Great dude though.
I've heard both.
Yeah.
You know,
if you're a
as
comic
the
book
word.
nerd, like he's a pretty good dude. Like he'll talk to you about that. He'll nerd out with you.
I think he's one of those people that he does better when he knows you than he is.
And probably the least you know about him, like his antics, like probably the better.
Yeah.
I probably would want to know about all the stuff he did.
Yeah. Well,
allegedly.
Sandman had some choice words when I met him. He called me a fucking douchebag.
Oh.
Yeah. I was talking to
he was drunk.
Yeah, he was sober, but he fell asleep immediately after meeting me. He went over and sat in the corner and fell asleep. I took a picture of it because I was there as a vendor. But I brought a magazine to get them all to sign, an ECW magazine from back in the day, and it was an article on Chris Candido, and Shane Douglas sat there. Awkwardly for me, I had to stand there for 15 minutes while he read the entire article.
Oh my God.
In the autograph line, I just had to stand there and wait for him to finish reading it. And then I was talking to the guys and I said, well, I didn't, I was a small kid. I didn't even know what ECW was until they came in. I was a Sunny kid because they told us to be Sunny kids, everybody, that was the one that everybody's supposed to have a crush on. He's like, you fucking douchebag. Of course you liked her. I'm like, and Sad Boo was like, easy.
Take a nap.
Yeah, he did. He did. Once the line was done, he went into a corner and slept until it was about time to go home and cash the check. But
so who were you in the backyard?
Oh, backyard. It was actually Trampoline Wrestling Federation, and this the one time I broke my thumb was on the trampoline. We even had ladder matches. We even had ladder matches. We would put the trampoline underneath the basketball hoop, put the belt up on, wrap it around the basketball hoop, and then you'd have to jump up and get it. But anyway, my middle name is Joseph. So I was, get ready, and I wore rainbow spandex, Jumpin' Joe Flash.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, take that home and eat
it. Can we get that pulled up?
Yeah.
So we're gonna get
there was
any
black
pictures of you from that?
It was black spandex with rainbows going down the side. My name was and I was smaller than my brother, so all of my moves had to be them like suplexes. They had to jump. So my finishers were the DDT and the figure four.
It's kind of like Midnight Express, though, black with rainbow on the side. That's
I dig it.
I dig it.
It was my mom's clothes, but it was my nod.
Her workout band.
It was my nod to Owen and Coco.
Yeah.
I didn't have a choice. That's what we had. They were the most wrestling looking things. But my adopted brother Ty at the time, he was trying to be a bodybuilder, so he was this big beefy black guy, and here's scrawny chubby little me trying to pick up his ham hocks to put him in the figure four
leotard.
And my rainbow leotard. No,
awesome.
It's just tights, not a leotard.
That's awesome.
No, I didn't have the Jerry Lawler strap that I can pull down with my bitch tits falling out. And, no. Anyway, so that's my my story. Jumpin' Joe Flash is never coming out of retirement. I ran the ropes one time at the Bent Barbell Club, and you let me fall down, and it is not a fake ring. It is not.
I did a whole training session with them at the Barbell Club once.
It's real.
Yeah,
you made it through.
And I got a concussion.
You got a concussion, but
even the ring ropes hurt. Just running off the ropes don't feel good.
No,
don't feel good. All right, let's open up these packs, and we'll talk quickly about who we're pulling out and what we think of the guys. We did have more packs coming, but unfortunately, even after a week of shipping, some people don't do what they're supposed to do. So I already see
Jumpin' Joe Flash is coming for you.
I already see a stanger in there. There's a stang.
There's gonna be Sting, Doom, Sid, Slayer.
We're starting
El Gigante.
We're starting up hot with El Gigante.
So we got. What's your fondest memory of El Gigante?
when he came out and saved Brian Pillman in the War Games match. That was my favorite.
Oh,
War
that
Games
is a good
match.
one.
And Sid like went to powerbomb him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I forget there's a top to the cage," and he just like Brian Pillman's shoulder was already all taped up and everything, and then he just dropped him on his shoulder. It's like Elegante just came out, and that was the end of the match.
What would you guess his shoe size was?
6. He had really small feet. That one was so weird about it. He's 7'6", but he had tiny feet.
He's 7'7" first.
7'7".
We're size 21.
21.
No,
I
you're-
was going to say 16.
No, you're El Gigante facts.
I'm sorry.
All right, next up, we got Flying Brian Pillman.
The man
Tragedy.
that Gante saved.
Yeah, love Flying Brian though.
Do you think he would have been a major player in the Attitude Era? Because he was there, like
Oh yeah.
he probably could have been world champion.
I was so excited when he came to WWF or
Can you
whatever it
imagine-
was at the time.
Imagine a feud when Austin turned into Stone Cold.
Yeah.
If they brought that back later, a couple years after.
I mean, they kind of started it, but that's
Yeah.
just when he got in the wreck and messed up his ankle.
What team did he play for?
Cincinnati Bengals.
Yep.
Miami of Ohio. He was offensive tackle.
And here,
Did you
The
hear me? Brian
Steiner
Prine
brothers.
he was an offensive
know.
tackle.
he's not very big.
Rick
I know.
and Scott. What's
Freaking-
Rick's favorite hold?
Bulldog.
Mm-mm. Steiner liner.
Steiner liner.
And then Scott's. There
Frankensteiner.
you go.
Yeah.
Love the Steiner brothers.
I love the Steiner brothers. Rick was the Marty Jannetty.
Yeah.
And evidently he's not a very good human being.
No.
I've heard, but I'm a big fan of his son though. I'm looking forward
Yeah.
to seeing what happens
Ron.
with him. Yeah, better. He's got the best spear going today.
It's pretty awesome.
He runs the ropes and you can see
Oh.
the ring move.
Yeah.
That's just insane.
Ricky Morton, one of my favorites.
Still wrestling.
Yeah,
Yeah, he still wrestles.
Still wrestles.
I don't have a lot of memories of him. He was in of the era right
Yeah.
before my era, and just
He did tell us all in the back once that it was right after Mike Awesome, unfortunately, took his own life. And we had a show like that weekend. We were talking about it, and Ricky told the whole locker room, if anybody ever says that he killed himself, it's a damn lie. And don't let the cops buy it. Somebody had to kill him because he loves himself too much for that. And he just went on and on about like,
wow.
he's like, I'd never do that. I love me.
I love me.
Here's your boy.
Sid
Sid
Vicious.
Vicious.
I can't look at that and not think of him jumping off the top rope and snapping his leg in half.
it was
Wow.
He's a notorious member of the Four Horsemen.
Him in WCW was probably the scariest dude I've ever seen.
Doom, Big Butch Reed,
Yeah.
Ron Simmons.
I love Ron Simmons. Don't know anything about Butch Reed.
I used to think he lived across the street from my grandpa, but
Oh.
that was not him.
Uncle
Oh,
Arn.
my cousin told me it was. I was like, hell yeah, older
We
cousin.
got Arn Anderson.
Oh,
This is Uncle Arn.
Uncle Arn.
This is maybe my favorite wrestler of all time.
I wanted to get a tattoo on my arm of Arn Anderson going up into the Four Horsemen
Ooh.
pose, and his arm would be like my, you know what I mean, like that dumb thing.
My hand
Before-
is your hand.
Yeah.
My only beef with him, because I did love him. I thought he was older than he really was
Mm.
in the 90s when he was wrestling, because he's eternally 59 and a half to me.
Yeah.
It just looks
What do
old.
we got left here? Dirty Dutch Mantel.
Yeah.
Just looking dirty. He's from Oil Trough, Texas.
Dirty Dutch.
The
What's supposed to do
fabulous
with that?
Freebirds.
Normally, you would have to shave your chest.
there.
But he did not shave his chest.
No, neither of these guys.
Huh.
There's no chest shaving here.
All right. We got
Another
do
El Gigante.
an
We're not.
Elegante. Now, this is an interesting one because this man loves tag team matches and putting matches against The Undertaker.
Who do you think it is?
Teddy Long.
Yeah. But this one, you got to see this. That's how Teddy Long,
That was after he was fired as a referee.
that,
He started training. He started.
what does
tagging
it say is the alias's name is?
Peanut Head.
Who called him Peanut Head?
Probably
locker
Jesse
room?
Ventura.
Yeah, I remember him being called Peanut Head.
And
Sounds like a
finally,
Bobby Heenan diss.
That's the
Sting.
sweet Doom shirt he has on, though.
I'd say Sting is top 20 all time. I wouldn't go any higher than 10 though. For me,
For me personally, he's top 2 or 3. I mean, Sting is.
What we got left? We got
we got 3 more packs of these.
until we get to the.
We'll start going a little
possibly-
quicker. We already hit Steiner Brothers. We already got
oh, this is
Ricky Morton.
It's all this. These WCW packs are cool,
Sid
but they're all the
Vicious.
same card.
Well, no, they're different pictures.
Yeah, they're different poses, but it's this.
But here's a new one, guys. Tommy Rich,
Oh wow, jackpot!
Wildfire. He came to my store when it was Monster Sword. One of the most nice, down to earth. Like, I wish I grew up in his era because I became a fan of him that day.
Yeah,
He isn't a very good speller, but as far as a human being goes, like it was a pleasure to meet him. He didn't draw a crowd, I hate to say, but it was an honor meeting him. He's really cool.
is Tommy Rich the guy that had demons? They were always talk about like he would have been bigger in the business, but he had his demons that he couldn't.
He told me a lot of stories about
maybe
nights that he doesn't remember driving down the road completely blacked out drunk.
God.
another dirty Dutch.
Another dirty
Look,
Dutch.
even
A
dirtier.
different dirty
It's
Dutch.
dirtier somehow. I don't know how he did it, but
All right.
Oh, look at that!
Another fabulous Freebird.
I think he's been canceled, hasn't he? Been
Dutch Mantel. I don't-
this guy
oh,
here.
Jimmy Garvin.
Yeah, I thought he did like some stuff with like.
I don't know.
Okay, I don't want to.
He looks like whatever you're about to say is true.
Here's the most overrated main eventer of all time, Lex Luger.
Oh,
This shirt's too tight, Billy.
Just every time he gets hit.
yeah, every time he hits somebody or does anything, he just.
All right. Next up, we got Jim Ross.
But WCW had so many good wrestlers back then. That,
Yeah.
I mean, Barry Windham, Flair, Sting.
Pre-Bell's palsy Jim Ross. It's weird seeing his face. I don't want to say normal because it's still normal, but just
looks like a
without
12-year-old.
the droop. Yeah,
Oh, Lex
He looks like
Luger.
he's wearing his dad's suit.
he's a baby face. Yeah.
This card should be worth way more because Lex Luger's Subas fits the
Oh.
outer border.
I would
right.
say Jim Ross is the second best of all time.
So who's the best?
Well, do you mix color commentators with play-by-play?
I mix it all,
There's
baby.
I'll never get over Gorilla and Bobby as a
Yeah.
duo. Jerry and it was a different era. So it's really hard. It's like kind of apples and oranges. But for me, my voice of pro wrestling was for my lifetime was Jim Ross.
Yeah.
But the one that I love the most is Gorilla Monsoon. Now, oh, will you stop?
Will you stop?
Yeah. Can you imagine if Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan were role reversal? They were the Attitude Era people. I can't. Like,
No.
it's a completely different world.
Well,
of
that's sort of
wrestling.
a fun thing for AI to do.
Oh, no.
Too.
I hate AI. Another Sting.
Alan Iverson, what did he do to you?
And dad jokes. We have Terry Taylor.
The Red Rooster.
Yes. World's dumbest gimmick. Even as a kid, I was like, what the hell? Why is he a rooster? And he came out clucking his head.
And he was the bad guy with Heenan. Then Heenan fired him. And then Heenan was like, I'll ruin you, Rooster.
Hasn't he been with TNA forever, though?
Think so. I don't.
This is just Ricky Morton carrying the old Freebird there, Michael P.S. Hayes, after a hard night. I think they've done that many a times where you had to walk him through the hotel.
Z-Man Brian Zink.
The worst worker ever.
Well, you can tell that it's a jobber when you're looking at the card and there's three people on it and you wonder which one is the Z-Man. You have no idea. It could be any of them. We still got 2 more packs of these WCW things.
Z-Man's best match is the one he had against Stan Hansen.
Oh, yeah.
When Hansen just tried to take his head off with a clothesline.
All
Over. and over.
right, here we have 2 non-doubles out of that whole pack.
That Sting's a good one. He's got the pink and black jacket on. He's kind of ripping off Bret Hart a little bit there.
Yeah, go ahead and pull that one up.
Oh yeah,
I like that.
That is a nice jacket.
I'd wear that jacket now.
All right. I don't have anything to say about this one because I don't know who they are. Southern Boys.
Southern Boys.
Oh,
I don't
Wild
remember
Eyed
them.
Southern Boys.
one of the
that's,
Armstrongs and
that's Tracy Armstrong right there.
and the fellow that
Tracy
just
Smothers
died.
and Steve Armstrong.
Steve Armstrong.
Yeah.
Tracy Smothers.
So Tracy Smothers, he recently passed, didn't he?
Yeah.
But he wrestled all the way until the
Yeah.
end. Pretty
Until
much.
probably
My God.
like
This guy wrestled him.
yeah.
You wrestled him?
Yeah. Tracy Smothers down in Huntington, in front of like 20 people.
20,000 people.
20,000 people. It was amazing.
None of them were there, so it was 20,000.
He came out wearing it was a show in Huntington, and the crowd was mostly full of little kids that were mostly African American. And and I'm the bad guy. I come out first and get booed, but then Tracy Smothers comes out, and Tracy's decked head to toe in Confederate flag gear.
Oh,
And I'm just like, oh well, hell, I'm gonna have to start being the nope. he was the most over person.
That's a fun YouTube wormhole. Is just looking at Tracy Smothers like later indie stuff.
Yeah.
He started a riot in a building
Yeah.
once.
I saw a barn match with him. It was in a literal barn.
Yeah,
Tracy was great.
Last one from this pack that wasn't a double. The Nature Boy, Ric Flair.
wow, first Flair.
First Flair.
Lex Luger in the figure 4.
Well, Luger had him in the bear hugging Luger's card, but yeah.
Flair always bored the piss out of me. He had the same match his entire career.
Yeah, once wrestling went to TV every week, I got really sick.
His holes got exposed. Now, here's a Ric Flair, but I really like that image. That is life. That is like childhood.
Limousine riding, jet flying.
Southern Boys, Sid Vicious, Ric Flair again, Southern Boys again. Here's a non-duplicate Missy Hyatt.
Oh,
Jock Sampson's girlfriend.
yep. Ring
Missy
rat, as
Hyatt.
he would say.
Whoa,
I his
you can
words.
say that.
Nah, I'm pretty sure you called her.
You can't speak about Missy. Like
All right. What is her hobby? Missy's Hyatt
talking on the
hobby.
phone.
The mall, shopping at the mall.
Thoroughbred horses.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
She
Who would've
was
thought?
she was always around Paul Lee, so I thought I was talking on the phone.
And then Flying Brian and Doom. All right.
Remember, she'd like try to get interviews in the locker room and stuff.
That's that same show that Stan Hansen almost murders Z-Man.
yeah,
There's
I'm
an
gonna-
amazing Missy Hyatt promo where she walks in and Stan Hansen's in his boxers only
scares
with
her off.
tobacco everywhere. It's great.
All right. This last pack here is the special WrestleMania 3 pack from 1987. 1987 tops, but we do know for a fact we're looking for Bret Hart.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and bust this open.
Yeah, the gum has just not held up well.
If it's WrestleMania 3, I want some little people cards. I want
Little
Little
Beaver.
Tokyo.
little Beaver, little Tokyo.
All right, so the gum is now just.
Give me a slip of that.
It doesn't look bad. It's not black. I just want to give it a little sniffy.
Yeah, do that right into the mic. That's great.
Yeah, it's like chewing glass, and then it turns into a
It's
cardboard.
gone. Yeah.
Yeah, a cardboardy paste in your mouth.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm good on it. Yeah. I don't have a
Like I said, I'm
germaphobe.
waiting for the Bret Hart card to show up so I can
All right.
do something stupid with this.
All right, we're going to just do one card at a time. We're going to flip them all together so we can all see. First card up.
Turn that some bitch sideways.
Take Roberts.
Jake Roberts, right?
Jake the Snake
Son
Roberts,
of a bitch.
ready to strike with the snake between his
Probably somebody that
legs.
was a TBI. He's ready to strike them.
That during the live show, he's like the snake used to spit out that venom and I would just make him spit all over
Yeah.
the crowd. You remember that?
No, it wasn't the venom. He'd make the snake piss off.
Oh,
the crowd.
piss.
It was
Okay,
so
yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we
He's
got
awesome.
spoiling for a fight.
The Islanders?
I believe it's the Islanders
Yeah.
pre head shrinkers for sure, but it's Haku and either Samu or Fatu.
I think that's
Haku's son just
Tama.
debuted on SmackDown.
What's his name?
I can't remember his name, but he came out and they attacked Jay for losing solo, and like Heyman didn't want it done. Reigns wasn't there, but then Haku's son showed up out of the stands, with the hoodie on,
Yeah.
and beat the crap out of him. So new bloodline member.
It's weird. Remember at the end of last year's Mania, Heyman was like, the bloodline story is just getting started. I was like, bitch, it's been going on a year.
Yeah.
And they were right. They found a way to make this shit
Well, that's
work.
what Triple H said too after he lost night 2. He said Roman Reigns' story is just like he's really excited about the direction they're taking it all, and
Wow.
because it looks like Solo might be trying to take over.
oh,
So that might be the new thing.
They
like
give him a personality first.
Bloodline Civil War.
Next up, King Kong Bundy. I have great
Oh.
memories of King Kong Bundy. Very first VHS, wrestling VHS that I ever rented from Network Video in Belpre was the front cover of it was Hogan and King Kong Bundy in a blue steel cage. I remember the clamshell VHS cover of that like it was
Was
yesterday.
that WrestleMania 2?
Might have been, but it
Okay,
wasn't.
trivia
It was like
question
a
for you guys.
compilation
Yeah.
thing.
while you're opening that, go ahead. I'm
Go
gonna
ahead.
do a trivia question for y'all.
Ooh, this is a cool one. I'm going to get this one graded. Andre
Oh, nice.
the Giant. He's cool. I'm going to send that one in to get
That'd be
slabbed. That's cool.
That's
so-
good centering.
What 90s sitcom was King Kong Bundy a guest star on?
I know that, but do you know it?
Wasn't Boy Meets World.
Think of the last name. There's a clue for you.
Was he on the Bundys?
Yeah, he was
the
on American
American
Children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
I loved wrestlers showing up on shows.
Yeah.
I loved it.
You'd be like, hey, that's someone I know. It's
Yeah.
like worlds colliding.
I knew he was. I couldn't remember if he was on because somebody else was on Home Improvement. I couldn't remember if that was him or something.
Oh, really?
I knew one was
that.
on. Yeah.
All right, next up, Hogan and Andre, the challenge. This is where Andre ripped the gold chain off of Hogan's neck and he started bleeding from his pecs or around his neck down his pecs.
I was big for it. That was, like I said, that was the first wrestling I watched. My neighbor had WrestleMania 3. He had the clamshell case, and we just watched that thing over and over.
I had the VHS WrestleMania 1 through 12 box set.
I just got that yesterday. It's 1 through 13.
13.
Got it
Okay.
on Facebook.
I would come home from school, play the wrestling figures, and then the weekends, my weekends was popping popcorn, drinking Jones soda, hanging out in the beanbag chair in the basement, watching those tapes.
Yeah.
Big part of my childhood. Loved those. This one's
I got a set. I'll sell you.
This one is something.
really.
I just got it yesterday. Probably not.
No, don't sell it. This is a little bit weird. I don't know much about it, but I do see Mr. Fuji peeking out the corner there.
What the hell?
That is the.
It says, "Good, that face scare opponent silly."
That is the Great Khan,
Oh boy.
Killer Khan. It's the superstars speak. Mr. Fuji says, "Killer Khan, fierce man, I smart man, very smart. Together we rule ring. Hulk Hogan, beware." So
Must have been a direct quote.
direct quote from Mr. Fuji there.
That's very scary. Guy's got his tongue outside of his mouth. Watch out.
Yeah.
Ah.
He looks savage. This one's called Her Eyes on Bandy. Oh, Randy, not Bandy.
Randy.
Well, look at it. It looks like
I was like,
Bandy.
who's Bandy?
No, it's Ms. Liz. Ms. Elizabeth.
Okay.
Funky like a monkey. Yeah.
I'll take WCW Miss Elizabeth over WWF.
Yeah. All day.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah. with
sorry.
the black mini dress there.
Yeah,
She kept it going all those years too. Ooh, American made Hulk Hogan. I love that image of him.
That'd be a good one to.
Yeah, I like that a lot actually. All right, we're getting down to it.
He's looking for a hot dog.
We got
I know that face. That's a where's my hot dog face.
All right, we got one more card and then a sticker. The last card is Fighting the Full Nelson. I don't know who's in the Full Nelson. I think it's the
Jack Haynes was one of them. Then Hercules was that the match? at
Hercules
WrestleMania 3?
Hercules is giving it. I know that,
All right.
but getting it is that
Billy Jack Haynes.
Billy. Okay, yeah.
That was their match at WrestleMania 3. Was who had sole right over the Full Nelson.
And
That-
what did Billy Jack Haynes go on to do?
Murder someone?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep. That was
Allegedly.
that was a fun one to put your friend in. Was the Full Nelson? I'll still put Lily in a Full Nelson. Just sometimes you need to.
Yeah, you gotta keep him in line.
I snuck up on my dad once. He was sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
And he had his arms like that.
He said, "Who's the dad
So
now?"
I snuck up, did that, and he instinctively just like shot his head back,
Oh
busted
shit!
my nose, broke my nose.
Oh yeah,
I poured
Dad.
blood. He's like, "Why would you do that?" I was like, "I don't know.
I
don't
can't
know
turn
why."
it off.
I was like 9. Yeah. So don't sneak up on your dad. Give him the old. It's not a good.
Give him the old dick twist.
No.
What was that? Did you ever see that clip?
Twist it. UFC.
Yeah.
Oh, the guy in the
Yeah.
crowd. Yeah.
All right. Before we show
we
you
get
the
a
last
sticker now, right?
one, purchases. All right. The cards that we did not get yet are 1999 WWF WrestleMania Live photo cards and a pack of 1990 classic wrestling cards did not come. I paid $12 plus $2.50 shipping for this pack. I had way more fun opening this pack than the WCW one. So I am going to go on a hunt for either a sealed case of these or as many packs as my little budget can afford that we can do this again in the future. Because this has been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
This is way more up my speed. Plus, no repeats in the entire pack. So.
2 Hogans and Andre.
Well, yeah, but they have different
Bundy.
catchphrases on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not Hogan. The one's the challenge with
Yeah.
Hogan and Andre.
I like the Andre one a lot.
Yeah.
I think that's the best image of him of all time.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's pretty epic.
Centered up.
That's the statue. That's the Andre the Giant statue.
The
they used for
memorial,
the-
yeah.
Battle Royal.
And the last thing out of the pack was a sticker of Outback Jack. kind of a dud ending there. Every generation had a guy that dressed like that. It looks like they're with their alligator teeth around his neck and hat.
And then you also get a puzzle piece on the back.
Oh yeah,
So you
we
put
got a
together
turnbuckle.
An even bigger image.
Yeah, we got a turnbuckle.
And that looks like it's from WrestleMania. Oh yeah, because it's WrestleMania 3. So that's, yeah.
American flag in the corner there.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and sign off. I am Aaron. We got Cole Cash. One more time as we're heading out. Plug your show and your debut or your return match.
First time in 5 years, I'm returning to the ring for Real Shoot Wrestling, April 27th.
Saturday,
at 6
April
o'clock.
27th.
Where at?
The Elks Club in Parkersburg on Green Street. You son of a bitch.
I'm just trying to help
Saturday,
you learn.
April 27th.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
My store closes at 6. I'm gonna try to get off early that day and make the show. Is there
I will be fighting Logan Taylor. He's a kid I trained.
Oh, that's
That
cool.
as I trained him, I
Killer.
started calling him the young killer because he hits people very, very hard and does not mind people hitting him back very, very hard. And that's kind of always been my thing. But I also have like
That's cool.
200 pounds on the kid. So
You know, it's got to be kind of a full circle feeling to know that people that you trained are that you get to get back in the ring.
yeah,
with.
that's
pretty-
it might be a one and done. I don't know, but I figured even if it is one and done, he's the one I want to have. One last match with. So.
I always wanted to be a manager. So if you get back into it and you're looking for a
Need
manager, I will.
I got the ring announced. That's what I always wanted to do. And that was.
I'm not good enough
that.
talker for that. I just want to be a manager and run around, be a mixture of Jimmy Hart and Bobby Heenan.
Yeah,
just
that
kind of
would be
wear a
fun.
glittery jacket and just not the baby thing with the megaphone. Not that deep, but I want to have the mastermind like Bobby Heenan, have a family.
All that heat.
I would say go to RSW Live is the Facebook for Real Shoot Wrestling. Please check out the all of the stuff they posted, but in particular, there's 2 videos where I have made my challenge to Logan Taylor. He accepted my challenge, and then my response to him accepting it. In my opinion, both very, very good videos.
Sweet, I'll be checking them out.
Logan's response has been good. Everything Real Shoot does is great. So
Yeah.
RSW Live.
And Mr. Joel Gant, what do you got coming up next?
Episodes of Middle-Aged and Mediocre.
Yes.
And your return to stand-up comedy.
We'll see.
Yeah, I hope
We'll
so.
see.
I really
It
do
won't
hope.
happen.
I really do hope so. Joel, if you don't know him, he is the local king of the dad joke.
All right, I'll take that.
Yeah, and like your kind of comedy will make them either fall down laughing or run cringing.
Groan or laugh usually.
Groan, yeah.
I'll take either.
Yeah, there's a lot of
yeah.
that's something Dad would have said. Well, anyway, thank you guys so much for checking out our very first episode of the Blank Show. Next week we'll be back. We will be back for a normal episode of First City Podcast, and hopefully my interview with the band Kansas before their live performance at the People's Bank Theater in Marietta,
Hey, why
Ohio.
don't you carry on, my wayward son?
Oh, I will carry it on far.
They sing that song.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And make sure to head to the store this coming week. We got Taylor Swift release this coming Friday and Taylor Swift party on Friday evening at 6 p.m. Grab the album. We have an autographed Taylor Swift record we're going to be giving away. And very next day is Record Store Day. So hope to see you guys around the store, 166 Front Street, First City Records in downtown
Free
Marietta.
Bubblegum Day will be coming up.
Yes.
It's
Thank
not
you.
bad. I had 2 pieces. I'm still alive.
Hopefully we'll be
No,
back.
I'm good.
We'll be back in the studio, and hopefully we'll have more fun with these guys in the future. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks for having us on.
All right.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'll
See ya.
take care now. Bye-bye then.